Hey YouTube, so just having a bit of a clean out of the shed, and I was just looking at some of the axes I've had over the years. I just thought I'd just show you some of these axes. Some of them are really good, and some of them are really bad, and some of them are kind of okay. Kind of how it all started with me with axes is I really just started green wood carving. In the backyard, you know, just started with Swiss Army knife, then got a mower, and just ended up buying more and more tools. But obviously, quickly realised that I needed some kind of hatchet to get down to size with the timber. And the first hatchet I got was the Cyclone axe, which is not really highly recommended. I have to say, it's just far too heavy for green wood carving. It's just difficult to control, and the edge retention was not great, and the handle was not comfortable. But it was a learning experience. I didn't really know what I was looking for. I just went to the hardware shop and they had a couple of hatchets, and I picked one out. But I quickly realised that I was better off with something with a wooden handle that was a little bit lighter. So I played around with a couple of axes like these, a couple of small hatchets, which were more sort of like your cheap made in China, $10, $15 kind of thing. And they were better because they're lighter, but again, edge retention was a problem. Didn't really stay sharp for very long. And also, a lot of these cheaper axes just aren't designed to be used, really. They kind of fall apart after any kind of extended use, as you can see with this one. It's obviously seen better days. But, you know, that was part of the learning experience as well. So obviously I quickly realised that, you know, I was just wasting money here on tools that were cheap or that weren't really suitable for the job. So obviously the next logical step was to buy a quality axe, to buy a quality tool. And this was the first decent quality axe that I ever got, which was a Gransfors Bruks wildlife hatchet. And I have to say, it is very, very hard to say anything bad about this company or the tools they make. You know, very few people have anything negative to say about them, and I like this axe more now that I've had it 4 or 5 years than I do when I first got it. It's just weathering in really nicely. You know, it weighs 1 kilogram. It doesn't even feel like 1 kilogram. It just, you know, it just works for me. The other tools, I kind of was always fighting with them. This one just was like a natural progression of my body almost. You know, it just did what I wanted it to do. And you know, the quality of the workmanship was there, the quality of the steel was there, the edge retention. It does sharpen incredibly easily, you know, and obviously, like, you know, there's a nice feature to have a leather mask for it as well. So the next, I mean, I have to say that's probably the best tool that I've ever owned, really. I'm very, very happy with that. It's an absolutely brilliant investment at the time. Then next on the list I got this, which is Hungerford's axe from the Big Green Shed. Any Australian will know what the Big Green Shed is. Made in Sweden by Hull Bruks, which is now, I believe, Hungerford. It didn't come like this. It had paint all over it, painted black. And the handle was highly varnished, so I sanded back the handle. Excuse me. I had sanded back the handle. Obviously put linseed oil on it. Stripped off the paint. Obviously not quite the same standard as a Gransfors Bruks, but still, for something I don't really use that often, which is a large size axe, it was a good investment. It does occasionally get used 3 or 4 times a year. But obviously it's too heavy for a bushcraft axe to sort of carry in the pack. And then I recently picked up the Weatherlings axe. This is a small hunter's axe. It just needs a little bit. It's got some sap on it at the moment. It needs cleaned up a little bit. And I have to say, very, very impressed with Weatherlings. They're very close to what Gransfors are doing. There is a slight drop in quality, you know. I mean, the fit and finish is not quite as good. I mean, there's a little bit of a flaw there in the forge. There'll be a little bit of a tool mark there and stuff like that. That probably, if it had been a Gransfors axe, it would have been cleaned up. But, you know, all in all, I'm very, very, very impressed with Weatherlings as an axe and as a company, you know. And Weatherlings and Gransfors are pretty much owned by the same people now, as I understand it. And, you know, the factories are literally across the road from each other, and Sweden. So, you know, I would highly recommend Gransfors. So I think if I was to buy more quality axes, I think Gransfors would probably be top of the list, because there's certainly more value for money. It's more axe for money. The similarity is very, very striking. And just how I've gone about maintaining axes over the years. I mean, I found a little bit of maintenance goes a long way. Obviously, linseed oil into the handle is the way to go. You know, very occasionally, got some linseed oil here. You know, you don't need much. You know, just rub it in. You know, it does seem to darken down the wood over time, which I actually quite like. You have to be a little bit careful with the linseed oil, because the rags apparently can spontaneously combust. So I'll usually burn them. Leave them around the workshop. I usually just put a little bit of the oil on the head as well, just to protect it, because obviously, you know, being carbon steel, it will rust pretty fast. And you know, with the mask as well being leather, you can use, obviously there's lots of different stuff you can use, but I find this stuff is pretty good. You know, any types of beeswax is going to be good. This is Renaissance red. That's what they use. What did they call it again? Microcrystalline wax polish or something. I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. All I know is it's really good. But you can use stuff like Snow Shield or Neat Wax and stuff like that and just rub it in. Some people even use shoe polish. But yeah, just you need to feed that leather or it'll start to crack, especially when you leave it in the shed, you know, where there's big fluctuations in temperature and humidity and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty easy to maintain. A little bit of work once in a while. Every time you use it, just do that. Here's one I picked up. It's in pretty bad shape, but I might have a go at rehandling it. I might just sharpen it a little bit to see what the edge retention is like. But this looks like it's about, you know, like 60s maybe. So what, 50, 60 years old, something like that? I don't know. But there's some spotted gum around the back, so I might see if I can get, I'll take the handle off, which shouldn't be too hard. I might have a go at rehandling this one. I don't know, it looks like it's been painted, so maybe it's not that old, but it's honestly seeing some abuse. I don't know, I might see if I can get a better one. If I ever see an old axe like lying in a dump or the council cleanup, I always pick it up. Anyway, that's my little axe collection. I've just pretty much started collecting them now. I really enjoy using them. Hope you enjoyed this little video.